So today, if you have a flexi band and some blocks, maybe a cushion, kind of the same things as usual, those will very likely be useful. So take your time grabbing what you need and then have a lie down on your mat. Once you're lying on your mat, take your time getting there, of course, but once you're lying on your mat, you might pull your knees into your chest, you might rock from side to side. You might try out any movement at all that feels useful today, maybe a little bit of like just full body stretching. And then as you're ready, pull your knees into your chest. Just kind of squeeze yourself up. You might even lift your head and shoulders up off the floor, but squeeze yourself into a little ball. And maybe take a few deep breaths, just noticing how your body moves as you breathe. And then release that and grab your flexi band if you have a flexi band. And if you don't have a flexi band, that's okay. You can do this without a flexi band. Pull your right knee in towards your chest. And if you have a flexi band, wrap the band around the bottom of your foot. If you don't have a flexi band, you just skip that part. Stretch your right foot up towards the sky and pull it towards your body actively. Your left foot can be on the floor with your knee bent, or if you'd like to stretch that leg out on the ground, you can do that. And if you're using a band, you might bring a little tension into the band and then flex your foot and notice what that feels like. Maybe you feel more of a stretch through your calf, through the rest of your body. Don't pull too hard on your band, Mark. And then point your toes and notice if that changes things. Move a few times between flexing and pointing your foot. And you can do this at your own pace. And the next time your foot is flexed, pull your knee in towards your body and then press it away at any angle you'd like to try. And do this a number of times. So keep repeating, trying out a different angle each time. Pulling your knee in, pressing it away, pulling it in and pressing it away. And the next time your leg is stretched out, lift it up towards the sky. Actively pull it towards your body, and you can use a little tension with your band or not, whatever you prefer. But try pressing down with your left leg, whether your knee is bent or straight, and pulling your right leg towards your body. And no matter where your leg lands, it's great. Notice what you can feel. Don't force anything. Just make it a stretch. And then keeping your hips level on the ground, see if you can extend that right leg out towards the side to any degree. Notice if you can feel a stretch maybe through your inner thigh here. And what has to engage in order to keep you from tipping over towards the weight of that right leg. And you might check in and notice, can you breathe pretty freely here? If possible, through your nose. And are there places where you're holding tension that is not really useful? And then when you're ready, lift your leg back up, bend your knee, and unwrap the strap. Try that on the other side. So start by extending your leg up. And again, your right foot might be on the ground. You might stretch that right leg out, whatever feels best to you. But bring, if you're using a band, a little bit of tension into the band, flex your foot, and then point your foot. And move between flexing and pointing a number of times. You might notice, does it feel different on this side than it did on the first? Next time your foot is flexed, pull your knee in towards your body, wherever it wants to go, it goes, and then press it away and try that a few times, making sure to explore a number of different angles each time. And again, trying to keep your hips level on the floor. And the next time your leg is stretched out, bring it up towards um, vertical. See if you can work towards straightening your knee and pulling your leg towards your body to whatever degree remains comfortable and sustainable for you. And maybe press down pretty actively with your right leg as you actively pull your left leg up. Again, not forcing it, not making anything hurt, but maybe feeling a stretch here. And then as you're ready, see if it's possible to open your left leg towards the side, keeping your hips level. And maybe you can feel a stretch through your inner thigh here. When you're ready, lift your leg back up, pull your knee in, release the strap, and set it aside. From here, bend your knees, place the soles of your feet together, and allow your knees to come out to the side for Supta Baddha Konasana. Actively press your feet together. So the soles of your feet pressing together. Maybe you feel your toes meeting up. Anything you want to do with your arms is fine. Notice if you can feel a stretch anywhere. Then place the soles of your feet on the floor, kind of right under your knees. Take a peek at your thighs. See that your thighs are parallel. Bring your arms alongside your body and roll your spine up, starting from your tailbone until you come into pretty much a straight line from your shoulders up to your knees. You're in bridge or Setubandha Sarvangasana. And then slowly roll your spine back down. And once you're back down on the ground, roll up. So continue rolling up and rolling down, slowly noticing what is engaging as you move. Can you keep your thighs pretty parallel? And of course, as always, you can go at your own pace. And you can continue moving like this, or if you want to try something different, the next time your back is down on the floor, come back into Supta Baddha Konasana. And if you feel like you have the stability in your ankles to make this feel okay, you might try pressing your feet together actively, pressing the outsides of your feet into the mat, and slowly rolling up into kind of a hybrid between bridge and Supta Baddha Konasana. You might also roll up and roll down the way that we were in the regular bridge. So if you're trying this, you might notice that it is a little more wobbly, possibly, as you roll up. And it might feel quite different. So you might be rolling up and down in bridge. You might be rolling up and down in a hybrid of bridge and Supta Baddha Konasana. Try that a couple more times. And when you're ready, you can come back down, maybe pull your knees into your chest, or try some windshield wipers by stepping your feet out a little to the sides of the mat and dropping your knees from side to side. And when you're ready, take your time coming up into a tabletop position. You might want to face the long edge of your mat for this. It just depends on what you find most comfortable. I'm going to face the long edge so you can see me, and I'm going to place a little cushion under my knees so that I don't go off camera. But once you're in tabletop position, extend your right leg out to the side and place your foot on the ground. And so that foot you're going to want kind of in line with your knee that's on the floor. And from here, see if it's possible to press your hips back towards your back heel and then lift up. And you can do this a number of times, moving at your own pace, noticing as you move like this, what feels, well, what does it feel like? And what feels like it's working, what feels like it's stretching. And you can continue moving like this, or you might try lifting your hands up and seeing what is it like to try doing something like this without having your hands on the ground. So that might mean that you come kind of more upright so you don't fall over on your face. And if you're trying this with your hands on the floor and you're finding that that's uncomfortable for your wrists, it might be a great idea to place blocks under your hands that can elevate your upper body and send more of the weight into your lower body. So your choice here. How do you want to move? What's going to work best for you today? Maybe try that a couple more times. And when you're ready, bring your hands back down if they're not there already. Lift your hips, pull your right leg in, and extend your left leg out to the side. And try the same thing on this side. So you may begin by having your hands on the ground or on blocks and sending your hips back, lifting them up. Once you try that a few times, maybe you decide, do you want to try any of the other option, which would be not using hands on the ground. Try that a few more times. When you're ready, if your hands aren't there already, bring your hands back down to your mat. Pull your leg in so you're back in tabletop and extend the other leg out. This time, walk your hands back and lift your body up so you're in a tall kneeling position. Stretch your left arm up, Really stretch through your side body here. So think about lifting up through your shoulder, pressing down through your knee, and maybe you lean your body, keeping your chest open. Maybe you lean your body over to the right. You can rest your arm on that extended leg. And your upper arm can be stretched right up. Maybe you bend your elbow and bring your hand behind your head, either hovering it or resting it on your head or using it to support your neck. Your choice. This is gate pose or parigasana. When you're ready, lift yourself up. And from here, tip yourself over and either bring your hand down to a block that could be set on any setting, or maybe you bring your fingertips or your palm to the floor. Now you're in side angle. Not side angle, sorry. You're in Vashisthasana, side plank. So from here, notice what that feels like. Notice where you're working. You might lift your upper arm up. You might extend it alongside your ear. And if it feels okay to you, you might consider lifting your extended leg up, maybe flexing through that foot and noticing what does it take to hold that leg up. You might press through that heel, pressing your heel away from your upper body, pressing your upper body away from your heel. So you're really extending your body out long here in this low half moon, or sometimes it's called cat moon, Ardha Chandrasana. And then you can lower that down, lift yourself back up, bring your hand down and switch legs. Once you've switched legs, come back up to a tall kneeling position. Find some length through your outer side body. Maybe lean over towards that extended leg. Then again, options for your arm. You might stretch your arm up. You might bend that elbow, bringing your hand behind your head. Whatever feels right. When you're ready, lift yourself up. Tip over, either bringing your hand to a block or to the floor. Maybe lifting your upper arm up or alongside your ear. And the same option, maybe you lift that left leg up. Notice what's working. Where do you have to be strong? Where are you naturally strong? It doesn't have to be physical. And if your leg is still hovering, you can drop it down, lift yourself up, and switch sides again. So hands come down, leg comes in, other leg extends out. Come back up into that tall kneeling position. Find your version of gate pose, maybe stretching your arm up, leaning over. As you're ready, come back up and tip over into side plank again. So this time, maybe you hover your leg. And if you do choose to hover your leg, one option you might consider would be reaching back with your upper arm and grabbing that foot, coming into a little bit of a back bend. broadening through your chest. And check in with your neck here. What does your head want to do? You might turn your head to look down if that feels better. You might keep it neutral, or you might try looking up. So you might be here holding your leg. You might have that leg extended out, or you might have it resting on the ground. Your choice. When you're ready, if you have that foot in hand, release it. If your leg is up, drop it down, lift yourself back up to your tall kneeling position, and switch sides again. We'll try that on the second side. As you're ready, find your version of gate. Maybe extending your arm up, maybe with a bent elbow, but possibly leaning towards that extended leg. And then take your time coming into side plank. Whatever version you're choosing. And maybe remind yourself, what are your strengths and how can you apply them here? As you're ready, if you have hold of your upper foot, you can release that. If your upper leg is hovering, you can drop that down. And as you're ready, lift yourself up and make your way up to standing in whatever way works for you. Once you're standing, make your way to the front of your mat. Find mountain pose, Tadasana. As you're ready, sweep your arms up, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. Hinging from your hips, fold forward. Uttanasana, you can come into a full forward fold, allowing your body to kind of fold over your legs. Or if that doesn't feel great on your back, you might come into a half forward fold, bringing your forearms to rest above your knees, keeping your back flat. When you're ready, plant your hands on the floor and walk your feet back into downward dog. Send your hips up and back. Just press your fingertips into the floor. Press through your shoulders. Knees can be soft here. Your heels might touch the floor, they might not. Mine rarely do. If it feels okay to pedal your feet here, that might be a nice thing to do. Lifting one heel up and pressing the other down, alternating. And when you're ready, shift your weight forward. You can bring your knees down to the floor or you can hover them. Come into a version of plank. So you might have both knees up, you might have one knee down, you might have both knees down. But press through your shoulder blades, press your hands into the ground. And then lift your hips back up into downward dog. And as you're ready, walk your feet forward into another forward fold or half forward fold, whichever works best for you. Sweep your arms up, lift yourself up with a flat back. Reach your arms all the way up. Press your palms together and bring them down to heart center. Release your hands. As you're ready, bring all your weight into your right leg. Lift your left foot off the ground. You can hover that foot. Maybe you lift your knee up and then step your left leg back into a high lunge. As you're ready, spin that heel down, find some buoyancy in your legs, and turn your hips and your body to face the side of your mat, the long side of your mat. So you're in your warrior two stance here with your front leg bent, your arms you might extend out to the side. You can scoot your feet around as needed. Whatever you want to do with your head, you might keep it neutral. You might turn your head and look over your right fingertips. And you can stay here in your warrior two. You might bend and straighten that knee a couple of times. And another option would be you might straighten that knee and come into triangle. So if you want to come into triangle, you'll stretch through your front fingertips. You might find a block to place down either on the inside or the outside of your front foot. Place your fingertips on that block or rest your hand somewhere along your leg. Open your chest as much as it wants to be opened. Lift your left arm up. And things you might consider. What does this feel like on your inner right thigh? Might be a big stretch. You could bend through your front knee a little bit or a lot, as much as you need to. As you're ready, lift yourself back up if you're in triangle. Straighten your leg if you're in warrior two. Turn your toes to face the long edge of your mat. And then turn your left toes to face the short edge of your mat. And you can adjust your back foot as needed. Bend through your left knees this time. Knee. You just have one left knee. And come into your warrior two on your second side. Maybe extend your arms out. What do you want to do with your neck? Maybe your head stays neutral. Maybe you turn, look over your left fingertips. And what feels right to you? Stillness? Or do you want to try bending and straightening through your front knee? And if you're enjoying your warrior two, Virabhadrasana two, you could stay here exploring this. If you'd like to try triangle on the second side, you might set up a block. And the block, if you're using it, can be on the inside or the outside of your left leg. And your hand, so you'd straighten as much as feels right through that left leg. Stretch through your left hand, arm, bring it down either to your block or to somewhere along your leg, or fingertips to the floor, whatever works best for you. Maybe your upper arm comes up. You might check in with your neck here too. It's always an option to look down or keep your neck neutral, facing forward, or to look up. It might be a good time to consider what are your strengths. Remind yourself what they are. And if you're in triangle, when you're ready, you can lift yourself back up. If you're in your warrior two, straighten through that leg. Turn your toes, all of them, to face the front of your mat. Sorry, the side of your mat, the long side of your mat. If you have a block you want to set up in front of you, you can do that. We're going to try a forward fold here. Really engage through your legs, through your core. Come halfway down with a flat back. You can rest your hands on your block or blocks. You can bring your fingertips or hands to the floor. Notice what kind of a stretch you're feeling. And then decide if you'd like to continue folding forward, allowing your spine to kind of relax down to the floor so your head releases down, soft neck. And hands can be at the floor. If you're trying this, you might bring your hands to your ankles. Whatever version of Prasarita Padottanasana you're in, just notice what you're feeling. Can you breathe pretty freely here? If you're folded all the way down, come halfway up and then come all the way up. Step, walk, or hop your feet in. And then make your way down onto your mat. And head right into Shavasana. Go ahead and set yourself up in whatever position is going to be comfortable and restful for you. You can close your eyes. If you want to keep them open, that's okay too. You might just soften your gaze a little bit. And see if you can take the next couple of minutes to just allow your thoughts to come and go without leading you anywhere. Notice if you're lost in your thoughts. If so, can you let them go and come back into the present? Find some gentle movement. Slowly open your eyes and bring yourself into a seated position if you're not already there. If it feels comfortable and right to you to bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, pressing your palms and fingers together in a gesture of offering, you might remind yourself of your strengths. And thank you for practicing with me today.